You're listening to the Fear of the Southwest podcast. This is Drew.
I'm Stephanie.
Alan.
I'm Ryan.
Welcome to another episode of Season 4.
Thanks.
Yeah, Alan, we permitted you to be here
Appreciate it.
after all the non-sensory that happened
Thanks
last
for having
time.
me back.
Thanks.
This is Alan's fourth ban. Can we get a round of applause for Alan? Yeah.
Guys, quit masturbating.
As Drew looks for a clapping button that doesn't exist.
There's every button
no.
but that.
No.
I took the clapping one off for the X-Files, I think.
Oh,
That button was the clap.
we didn't think we'd need the
gone.
clap.
We need more buttons.
Drew needs more time to actually program buttons. Anyways. Don't put colorful buttons in front of me. Bad idea. It's a bad idea.
I wouldn't.
Ooh. Anyways, tonight's topic. You guys have all seen the Conjuring movies, right?
Yeah.
And other movies.
Seen some TV shows too.
Conjuring and more.
Mostly YouTube.
I haven't seen that one.
Oh, man. All right. So the Conjuring's pretty much based off real life events. Famous cases from Ed and Lorraine Warren.
Yep.
I think maybe tonight we could talk about the movies versus the real life stories.
Yeah, we could talk about other ones too.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah. For sure.
Exorcist. Yeah, all of. Yeah. We can talk about it.
There is so much to cover.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's interesting too.
That is fascinating.
Yeah, a lot of times people tend to think that these movies are like a play for play. I don't know, like
Someone like
enactment,
writing up the
you know?
story, thinking it up is like, nah, this is actual stuff.
Yeah, this is what actually happened. And
Before we get any further episode, if you guys haven't seen the new Conjuring 3, The Devil Made Me Do It, there might be some spoilers. So if you haven't watched
did the
it,
devil
stop
make him
this,
do it?
watch it, and then come back.
Yeah.
If the devil made them do it, I'm going to be mad because then the title's a spoiler.
You didn't know the title of it? It's the name of the case.
I'm just saying.
Ryan's about to get educated.
Yeah. I'm about to learn me
God is
something.
God is Miranda education.
I do know about the background behind the story, though.
What do you know?
Well, I believe it was like 1840 or something. There's this lady.
Stop.
It wasn't.
Stop for you. Butcher it more.
Or something. It was
that's-
old timesies.
19
That's the first one.
1981. For
1981 for
the
that.
Conjuring 3, yeah.
Yeah.
No. I'm talking about the original house
the
where the
first-
original
first one,
Conjuring, like the backstory behind the whole movie
Yeah,
as a whole.
weird
Like the
one.
real life equivalent.
Yeah, the
gotcha.
Bathsheba stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, Bathsheba. Yeah, she got married to this dude in this house, and stories differentiate. Apparently, she had like a couple kids that all died before the age of 7, but it's kind of hit or miss with stuff, from
those
way back
other
then
kids,
with
for
records
sure.
and whatnot. But there was one kid that her husband caught her trying to like sacrifice it to the devil. And some say that she actually succeeded. Some say that the father stopped her, but she was like upset by being caught, and she yeeted out of life and hung herself and cursed the land.
Rage quit from
Yeah.
life.
Yeah, she was just like Control Delete and cursed the land, and was like, anyone who lives on my land is gonna die a horrible death. And like 7 families after that all died.
But they also
really weird and bizarre
They also
deaths.
tied that other kid to her as well, like some kid that died in her care as a babysitter.
That's right. That's where a lot of the stuff came
and
from.
they found a tiny little hole, like the hole from a ice pick or a sewing needle in the animal or in the
Base of his head.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to, little side note for a
lobotomy.
second while the thoughts in my head. This is the same room. The last time we had this board out recorded here, we did pick up an EVP.
Yeah, we did.
So, I challenge our listeners, us as a team, to see if we hear anything during our recording. Because we did get some really good EVP last time we had this board out running in this room.
I'll be listening.
I mean, I don't know if it's my
Hard as I
imagination, but I do feel like a weird cold draft in here.
Yeah, this room is the coldest room of the house.
I like it.
Even before we had AC, this room always stayed cooler.
So it's a haunted room. Cool.
Actually, there have been
That
reports
saves a
of it.
lot
Yes,
of
this-
money on air
Yeah.
conditioning.
Yeah, don't get AC. Get a
I-
ghost.
Save yourself thousands of dollars and hire yourself
They
the
pay for
ghost air
them.
conditioner.
They pay for
Ghost air
themselves in a place like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure you can hire one online with one of those online service things. Looking for ghosts. Keep my
But-
place cool.
You got
They're still
Ghostbusters
going
and
to
you
be.
got
They're still going to be, better tenants than anyone else who would be in here.
So on the topic, when I first moved here, I didn't have much. I didn't have much at all. And this was the room I slept in because I didn't have a bed. And so I used the sleeping bag in here because everywhere else is hardboard floor or tile. And I woke up at 2:30 in the morning because I was hearing strange sounds coming from this area here. Now I think it was the neighbors. They run a food truck, and it was a Friday when I moved in, so sometimes they stay out late for, people who are partying and stuff. But almost right away, I noticed, there's a vibe in this house.
yeah. When the first time I came over here, the vibe was like instant. Mm-hmm. And this room does have energy. But anyways,
I really got to start sacrificing people in here. It's got this whole aesthetic that I really like.
Yeah, we might be able to curse the land if we try hard
Showed
enough.
you my spooky village yet.
We'll be famous.
Alan's face
just got,
got like
like,
spooky village. What?
I just got like little kid feelings. Got so excited. Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's spooky too.
Yeah.
Spooky.
Yeah, it's got a lot of weird stuff in here.
Spooky.
Yeah, this is a
Spooky.
painting from one of my students.
And that's a yoga
she
ball we
just did
rescued
that.
from the road.
That is, yeah. I do my balance
It's the
balls
Andy
in here.
Warhol take on
Frankenstein.
Frankenstein.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
I like it. But anyways,
And our artwork's in here.
oh yeah, that's true. I remember that. I did that.
You did that.
I did that.
Told you to be safe.
Yeah.
Put it in the creepy room.
It's weird seeing my art on a wall.
How does it make you feel?
It's usually in the trash.
Oh, no.
I hope it's haunting the ghosts.
They're talking about us. We gotta go. All right, so we were talking about Conjuring and real life versus movies.
Yeah. Well, apparently.
Come on, guys. Where's the energy?
So she's
God.
sorry, we derailed for
in
a
the
second. It
room.
usually takes us about 35 seconds to pull it back on track. But yeah, apparently seven families died horribly in weird ways after. And
I don't know about that. I don't know. Something like that.
Alan does not know if
All
he
we know
approves
is that
of
people
Maybe.
died.
Yeah, people died, and that the families actually did die in that place.
There was
But-
several murders and one suicide, they said, I thought, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
Let's talk about the movie. So if we're on one, let's talk about that, the movie.
Okay.
Do you guys think they stuck pretty accurately to, what records there were, or do you think it was, Hollywoodized?
Oh, for the first one? Mm-hmm. Definitely. There's this kind of narrative to the movies that didn't really come into play in the actual story, but a lot of the surrounding facts are well represented. So more or less, yeah, they did a pretty good job.
Yeah, it was like a made up family in a made up situation in a house that actually exists. It was kind of strange, Like
There was the two families, the two families, the one in the house and the Warrens were still the one. They were still the focuses.
Yeah.
It was they were helping out a family under siege, paranormal attack, I think.
Seems to be a theme.
Mm-hmm.
I think in regards to historical accuracy, I want to say number one was probably the closest. I think after that, they still kept some of the real stuff, but it got a little more Hollywoodized, I guess.
Yeah. I wish that they kept Annabelle as like a Raggedy Ann doll, because that's what it was.
Yeah, that one I was like, no.
I think it's cool because it's not something that looks like some terrifying
Yeah.
toy, but
a Raggedy
it has
Ann
this
doll.
energy to it, right? Yeah. So I wonder if you would actually be able to feel out which one of them is bad, like Annabelle, if there were a bunch of them in the room.
Yeah, I used to have a Raggedy Ann doll.
Yeah, that's what I was
Growing
about
up.
to
My
say.
grandparents
Yeah.
did too.
Is Raggedy Ann dolls don't really strike me as scary.
Yeah.
Though. Like if you
No.
actually looked up the real pictures for the animal that they're talking about, does not look menacing at all. Like it's not like any of the other
Letta.
haunted
It's
dolls.
Not like Peggy.
No,
Peggy, yeah.
Robert,
Letta, Robert.
Yeah.
Robert's definitely creepy.
Oh yeah, he's
Definitely check out that episode. We talked about a lot of the haunted
Letta,
dolls.
Joliet, the one that kills the firstborn sons.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, those look terrifying.
that one
those are
haunted
terrifying.
doll that almost
Raggedy
strangled
Ann
that boy
does
in the
not.
movie.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
remember that one?
The clown.
Yeah, the clown that almost
Poltergeist.
killed a
Yeah.
boy on set.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys saw that in the flash,
Yeah,
right?
we did.
I would be studying the origin
did.
of that doll. I don't know why they don't. They're like, this doll tried to kill the boy. Strange. Where did we get this doll
Strange.
again? A
Makes
thrift
sense.
shop, you say?
Now, little side note: that doll in the museum was literally nailed,
Yeah, it was nailed to the wall.
hands and feet and head were all nailed. Like this thing can't move.
Like iron nails?
Yeah. Faye. Another Faye reference.
Yeah.
Yep.
For those who didn't check out that episode.
Yeah, the Sauce Fairy. If you want to learn about the Sauce Fairy,
Okay,
check it
so
out.
that's the first one that we've come in kind of on how real we think this story was. The Enfield case. It's the second one, right?
Yep.
What are you guys' thoughts on that one? I think it's a
Scary.
lot more controversial generally.
Yeah, that one is a controversial one. Creepy.
Tell me about. I'm unfamiliar with this one in particular.
Right, it's on Green Street in England in the 60s, I believe. And the Warrens were there helping out a family with, I think, like 5 children. And one of them ended up sort of coming under spiritual possession. And they had some firsts, like the first time that a haunting has been investigated by the police, and they told it was legitimate, which is something that comes in the third one, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
In a different aspect. We'll get to the third one though, but yeah.
In other ways, they proved at one point that that at least one of the girls did fake something. In the movie, they make it seem like it's like a red herring to make them go home. The Warrens go home, like because it was a hoax or whatnot. But
She just
I
felt
don't know.
left out.
I think it was just. I think the girl started smashing some stuff and saying that she wasn't doing it.
A ploy for attention or something like that.
Also, I don't know how it really. I don't remember Valak having much to do with that, or Adramelech. It's a demon.
Ooh, Valak. I like that one. It's an interesting,
But I mean,
creepy.
in that, I think that the Enfield case is interesting. You have some real phenomena. You have some lies surrounding it. You have cops sending people to the church.
Right.
Because they can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
And then
Does the nun appear in that one, right? The
Yeah.
second one, yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, apparently in that one it's something they that from the Amityville case. But I mean, there's some good. It's like I said, it's controversial. It is really creepy when you listen to the recordings
Yeah.
from that girl speaking in an old man's voice.
Yeah, it's definitely creepy. So yeah, you got the Enfield case for number 2. Then you got the remake of Annabelle which I'm not even gonna go there because that was probably
Didn't
the
they
most Hollywoodized.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I mean, I don't know about the Annabelle. I don't know about the first Amityville or Annabelle movie.
Wow.
How about that one?
That was interesting watching you struggle on that one, buddy.
Yeah.
Glad
Tongue
you got
twister.
it out.
Have you heard of the Amityville Annabelle?
It's like,
The doll children in Amityville too.
Amityville Annabelle,
Everyone hung out at the Amityville haunting.
including Annabelle. Yes. I've got that tongue twister out of my head.
I also don't know, like, is anything about the creation and Annabelle creation, like, based in life?
I don't think so.
Like,
I think those new Annabelle movies are pretty much pure Hollywood with very faint references to some of the stuff Annabelle was known for. Like, you throw her out, she shows back up. Like, stuff like that. As far as storyline basis, I'm pretty sure it was pretty Hollywoodized.
yeah.
It was supposed to be like just a popular, scary movie, not really a reference.
Okay, well, since it does come in between at the beginning of the second Conjuring movie, like, why don't we briefly talk on the Amityville case, right?
Amityville Horror.
I mean, the Warrens worked that, and they weren't the only one. What's his name? The guy from Haunted Collector.
I'm bad with names anyways, so you're worse off asking me anything about names.
Yeah,
Names and
I
dates.
just feel
The
bad.
one with
'cause-
Amityville, they have photos, they have proof of haunting, or proof of something that was there, and just the things that happened there. And it ended up in time sequences. Like every day, there was repetitive things.
Yeah, apparently all the sets end up pretty well haunted too.
Yeah, they did.
Well,
What is Steve
And I
something?
have
No, John
John Zaffis.
Zaffis.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like those two figures, or the Warrens and John Zaffis, like the two biggest celebrities in that whole,
Yeah.
that whole.
Amityville's a scary, haunting,
Yeah.
and like Steph said, like is very on a time basis, so it's very much like a residual.
The residual haunting. Yeah.
so what's the difference between these kind of hauntings and then hauntings like the poltergeist?
Okay, well,
movies?
Poltergeist is literally described. And Poltergeist is basically like a very we're gonna throw plates out of your cabinet, very active, moving stuff.
There's
They're like the feisty ghost.
They're aggressive. Yeah.
Aggressive, and sometimes more of a demonic presence.
often what people believe about poltergeist activity is it's not necessarily linked to like ghosts. A lot of people believe that it's like energy from girls, like mostly little girls, who end up having this sort of telekinesis about their emotions.
I've heard that.
Yeah,
Pure
I've heard
evil.
that
We've
too.
talked about that.
Yeah.
We've talked about types of hauntings.
Nothing's scarier than an evil little girl.
and that's basically what the
And there's Annabelle.
case is.
Except for in doll form. But anyways.
Okay, so
Residual haunting would be like repetitive, okay? So it's just the energy, sometimes residual, like this ghost comes around like on the anniversary of their death.
Or like every night at
3:30 in the
3:30 a.m.
They
you're going to
break a
hear the
plate.
cabinets
Or 3:15
open,
or
you wake
3:15 or
up
something.
and you walk around the house, or you wake up from sleepwalking and you're in another room. It's things like that.
they
Residual, think of repeat.
Yeah.
And demons, they come after you. So, that's more of a haunted doll.
when
Demonic possession.
when they're making one
Demonic
of the
possession.
movies, all the actors end up dealing with that.
Yeah, they end up experiencing
getting bad dreams and terrible sleep, and they're waking up every night 3:00 in the morning.
That energy tends to.
people die on the set. People die shortly after filming wraps.
Loss of sanity.
Yeah.
Some people end up going in
especially
mental
in
wards.
poltergeist case. But that case isn't based in reality.
And you always hear about
just
actors
managed to make a
whose
real haunted
roles
movie.
get to them and they end up, overdosing, committing suicide, self-harm.
Or they end up cursed.
Yeah, that's
So-
true too.
So how did Amityville start? I mean, I don't know. I don't really know how
Annabelle?
much. Amityville.
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 Yeah. The people who own the house now, they had to go and they had to change it because of people constantly coming over, trying to see
believe
it, trying to break into the home, trying to take artifacts from the home. And some people would try to bless it, burn it down. And so they had to actually change its features. But it's still there. It's still there right now.
I just find it.
It's a demonic possession story. So
Yeah.
The
and it's-
Amityville. Yeah, I know the story, but I'm saying like, how does it actually begin in real life? Is any of that Ketchum stuff? The serial killer who worked in the house or owned the house, and
the
like the
Lutz's
distant house.
so-called whorehouse continues to fascinate the public.
Yeah, the Lutz, but and then most of the knowledge about the case comes from when Ronnie DeFeo killed his family.
Yes. he
Ronald
killed them.
DeFeo Jr.
killed all
then
of his
23,
family.
gunned down his parents and 4 siblings there on November 13th,
It
1974.
went room to room with a gun for
Yep.
sure, a rifle.
He did. And he did it at a specific time. And when the Lutz family lived there, the father, would wake up at that time and sometimes not even realize he had sleptwalk or where
Oh,
he
they
was.
should have cleaned their rooms.
Okay, this
in
is
the court.
confusing. This is, I'm reading off New York Post. So this is Ronald DeFeo Jr., then 23, gunned down his parents and 4 siblings there on November 13th, 1974. The notorious killer died behind bars on March 12th, 1969. How the hell did he kill him if he was dead 6 years prior?
Zombies.
What?
And I think he claim that he didn't do it at some
Yeah,
point. He said he was at a
talked-
bar
he talked
and he
about-
came home late.
He talked about hearing the devil talk to
That's
him,
right,
and
yeah.
he talked about how he didn't even know where the gun was. It had been taken.
Did anyone hear that?
It's the car.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he says that he was listening to the voices, and this man who he was listening to with purple hands gave him the gun that he didn't know where it was in the house because Big Ron had taken it from him.
Okay, so there's some serious
Big
typos.
Ron was a really abusive guy.
Yeah.
And it really pushed Ronnie to the edge. He was
Ronald DeFeo
absolute
died in his prison cell March 12th, 2021.
Yeah.
So he
Not
died
to-
when? They said he died in 1969. Now he's dead in 2021?
No, he obviously he died in 2021. They just did a
Probably a
Typo.
typo that you saw.
They were wrong.
Yeah.
After that, I know some of the stuff. The Lutzes, the father of the Lutzes started acting in a very similar manner.
Yes. Very aggressive.
Started wigging out.
And he was the stepfather
I think
to
he was
the children,
killing.
I
He
think.
killed a number of their pets too.
Yeah.
That's right.
Like I think there was like a rabbit or something that.
Well, that's just good eating.
Yeah, I mean that's the idea. He's sort of being driven towards murder by the forces in the house.
Or he was really hungry.
Yeah, or that. And rabbits
It's funny.
are very.
I was just reading.
convenient.
He was experiencing the same experience like 3:30 in the morning every night.
Yeah, that's
And
what
like his wife would turn into an old lady and levitate.
There's a lot of stuff. Yeah,
there's a lot of things. And the family was actually under attack. They were under attack to the point where they had to give false names a lot of the time because they were harassed and people told them that they were making it up and that they were crazy. And because they literally left in the middle of the night, they left their belongings and that was it for them. And
I know that I know that the youngest daughter had some really creepy stuff going on in the Amityville house. She had this like stuffed pig.
oh,
And
that's right.
she
the
said
pig.
that there was this like scary man, like an old man, attached to the pig, and so when when they would see the pig in the room, that's him in there too, attached to this little pig doll. And it
was a pig doll?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it needed to be burned.
Yeah, this
And
little
burn
toy.
it.
And she started talking about what he looked like, and it was like a scary old man, like a dead guy. And the parents would go and see her talking to the pig in the room in a rocking chair that's rocking. So.
Yeah, no.
And then there was also like little like Jolie or Josie of the DeFeos was killed in that same room, and may have been like the first owner of the toy.
Damn.
Yeah, I mean that's crazy. I just don't know if that whole like backstory about the psycho preacher Ketchum killing all the native people there. I don't know if any of that comes from fact or history.
I'm not sure entirely, actually.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's our kind of take on that one. Well, you guys were the ones who have seen the third one. What did you guys think of it?
Have you seen it?
No.
Nope.
Have you seen it?
Nope.
I thought we were all on the same page that we saw it.
No, I mean, I didn't want to because of that.
Yeah. Douche.
I thought you watched it.
I told you.
Yeah, you're spoiling all kinds of things for us.
Because you said
We just
that
got to sit here and take it.
I was gonna wait.
Yeah, we're gonna
when
wait.
You guys said that you didn't, or you didn't have internet that was working at the moment.
Yeah, then I was like, we're watching it now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And when that was going on, I had to do stuff for Shannon, so I just figured this way we'd at least be able to come to the meeting with two different sets of memories. Right.
All right, so the third one, the Conjuring, the devil made me do it. Mm-hmm. Again, possession story. Okay, Artie Johnson. Okay,
Yes.
It starts as Ed and Lorraine were investigating this possession, and it was actually a little boy named David, and after like so many times, of trying to exercise the beast, the demon out of him, and like he can't take it. And Artie was very close to in real
family.
life,
He was close to the family, and the
He
boy
was
had been
engaged to
possessed
David's
for over a
sister.
year.
Yeah, and at one point he just was like, "Take me, not the boy. Leave him alone." And it does. Okay, it switches from the boy to Artie. Now, what ends up happening, like in the movie, that they go into that. He takes over the possession. The boy recovers fine. David. Artie takes on the demon. Okay. Now, like if you're familiar, like at the museum, the rocking chair from that house, we see him there all the time, is not mentioned at all in the movie. There is not one rocking chair in that movie because I looked.
Oh, that's disappointing.
And they have that rocking chair at the museum. We talked about that. Mm-hmm. So no appearances of that chair, that scenario at all in the movie.
The closest thing to it is that they do an exorcism on top of a dining room table.
Yeah.
That's the only kind of reference that he was held down on something.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, they also said like they see the demon in the rocking chair. Like that was he's sitting there right now. Like in the recording, he's sitting there. Like, so I was kind of curious to see if that reference would come to be, being as it's the most popular museum in the U.S. right now. But with that being said,
Not the Museum of Natural History.
no.
Okay.
That's
More the Museum of the Paranormal History. More like it.
So 10 years ago.
The acting was good. The story stuck to a lot of the key points. Already, getting possessed and killing the landlord. The landlord was shit-faced drunk.
Yeah, so what ended up happening is he invited this spirit into his body. Mm-hmm. By inviting the spirit into the body, it naturally was like, sure, why not? That's what it's there for. Mm-hmm. This guy stabbed his landlord 22 times. 22 times. And
did he kill him?
He kills him. And he is found on the side of the road, covered in blood, not really recalling what happened.
He tells the officer, I may have hurt somebody.
Yeah, and when he goes to jail,
Bath
they
salts.
they right away they want to seek the death penalty if he's guilty, because this is 1981.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so they were seeking, the electric chair, and so they had this. They reached out, and the lawyer pretty much said, if you can prove to me that this was some type of demonic possession.
And she was very skeptical about it. And then the Warren's like, well, come to our place for dinner. We'll prove it.
Yeah, and to prove it, she wanted to play the recordings from the little boy's possession and their exorcism on him. And so once that happened, she agreed to try to defend him, to get him away from the death penalty. And even... well, in the movie, it shows that even in the prison, he experienced possessions. He was haunted. Things would happen. There was
Monkey still on his
witnesses.
back, huh?
But then there's a twist. Kind of a twist. Now, the movie portrays it as demonic possession, but controlled by a witch, basically, a very strong witch.
That's all Warren stuff. They had a big thing for witches. I mean, that's why their cursed item library was called the occult museum.
Basically, the only way to stop this thing is to basically break the
altar in which the witch casted this spell.
Yep.
And one of the spells she casted, it needed an innocent, which was a child. It needed a murder, and it needed a suicide. And in order for the spell to, or the curse to fully be completed, that's what had to happen. And so the little boy was possessed. Arnie invited it into him. And there was another girl in the movie who...
that ending scene at the end of The Exorcist, take me.
And then sure enough, And so there was another girl who was possessed. She met with an old friend. They had gone to separate colleges, and they met in the woods. And she gave this friend a gift. And as soon as the friend received the gift, she stabbed her 22 times.
Dang.
And then she ran to...
What
her
was
death.
the gift?
And the crazy thing is, this happened in Danvers, Massachusetts. And Danvers, Massachusetts, as we know, is close to Salem. And a lot of the women who were convicted of witchcraft were executed in Danvers, as well as held in prison. They were held throughout Salem, Danvers, and Boston. So the witch theme of the movie, that kind of matched the history of that area, that location. And the gift that you asked about, I think, what was it, jewelry?
I want to say it was like a jewelry or a pig or something.
Yeah, it was something.
And then she just stabs her 22 times, runs to the cliff in the river, and it ended up being because of Lorraine's visions that they found the body. Because they had no idea. She was at that point missing for a little while. And she had a vision of what happened, and then she just took off running. The movie, I mean, I don't know. I'm not really super familiar with the full story. I don't know if the witch was actually the reason for the possession, but it was a good movie. It was very scary. As far as accuracy, I think it's
A little bit of both.
a little bit of both. It was a good combo. You got some good Hollywood horror, and then some really good references to Ed Lorraine's work.
But no rocking chair.
But no rocking chair.
But there's no rocking chair in the movie.
Which apparently is a powerful piece of...
At the end of the movie, though, at the very end, they showed pictures of the actual people it's based on. And then they did play a recording. They played a recording of the exorcism, but it was different from the one that we heard at the museum.
Yeah, it wasn't the same
one. It wasn't the same one.
But obviously, like we mentioned, this was also the first case the court brought demonic possession as the reason for the murder.
Yeah, instead he was convicted of manslaughter, and he served
5 years.
Just a few years in prison. And he married into the family. He married, and they, I guess they're still married.
So remember, if you have a landlord that just won't chill out,
Don't try that one because obviously it's not a good sign. Everyone's going to know exactly what you're referencing.
Your landlord is here with us.
your landlord floats down here.
As far as accuracy, it wasn't too bad. Obviously, there was another interesting point in the movie how Ed was having like health issues. Like he was in the hospital,
started to have
heart
health
problems. And like Lorraine took off running during that vision, and like I was like, "Oh shit, he's gonna pass! Like he's gonna pass out again." But
I think it'd be scary to have visions.
Okay, so
Like,
it's like a...
That's the scariest part of it all is, it was just like Lorraine's being kind of like the main protagonist of this.
Oh, the funeral.
Of this whole universe that Hollywood's creating. And it's just like, like 1 minute I'm just sitting on the sofa. Then I'm sitting in a black swamp talking to a demon, like.
The funeral home scene in this movie is creepy AF.
Yeah.
That was the scary part.
What does AF mean?
As fuck.
Ass fuck. Okay.
Creepy as fuck. Yeah, that
Creepy ass fucking.
And you actually hear about this a lot, where a lot of paranormal investigators or people who are into, they do, psychic fairs, they do tarot card readings, healing and stuff like that. A lot of them do suffer from a lot of health ailments at some point. And I honestly think it's because they absorb so much negative energy. They're around so much negativity. Eventually, if you don't know how to take care of it,
battery of it.
Yeah. Right? It will affect the body. And a lot of these people end up having heart problems.
That's very true.
They have heart problems, gut problems, memory loss at some point.
Well, I mean, in a lot of the culture that surrounds the occult, innards and organs are always a source of power, like disembowelment.
Well, think about
using
it.
the hearts of different animals.
What is one of the
Sacrificing
biggest
the heart.
energy sources for any paranormal? Water. What is humans made out of?
Water
Like 90% water, right? 80% water, whatever it is.
and like 3% GMOs.
Artificial flavors.
It takes longer for a human body to decompose nowadays because of how
I
much
heard
fast
that
food
all
we
the
eat.
preservatives and
Yeah, it's gross.
Never heard of that until right now.
Yeah, it's going to make us stronger zombies.
Sucks for you in real life, but you'll be a hell of a zombie.
I mean, I agree. I've talked to you about that before, about that being a theory of mine. So, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, man. Humans are running water.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. I mean, our
that's
blood-
interesting. There's running water inside of us.
Ryan's catching on.
I think they need to sort of hit it, like they need to use that kind of energy like a battery. That's how they're able to manifest around in the world and move around.
That's why you'll see something, take my energy. Mm-hmm. Take it. I've heard it. I've seen it. Like
Spirit bomb.
Mm-hmm.
Spirit bomb.
But
yeah, so
there are a lot of these stories though. We should definitely do another one of this series. But
we could.
Yeah, we can get into
horror movies versus real life stories. Definitely a good topic.
There's a lot of them.
Oh yeah. Think of the inspiration they're getting from it.
Oh yeah.
Real life paranormal, but scary story. Oh, we'll make that into a movie.
Mm-hmm.
But coming up, we're going to do an interesting month, right?
Yeah.
Summer Slaughter Fest.
Oh man, I can't wait.
We're going to talk about some horrific serial killers.
Mm-hmm. And spelling bee champions.
Yeah.
Horrific serial killers. So yes, please join us for the Summer Slaughter Fest. Another tongue twister.
I can't wait. And it's definitely like a macabre thing, but it's definitely a guilty pleasure of mine.
Yeah, like the guy with the nipple suit.
That's of mine, yeah. All right. Well, we're basically going to talk about serial killers we haven't talked about yet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's so many. A lot of murders. They're all around us, really. Mm-hmm. You could walk down the street and just observe one of your random neighbors, and chances are you'll see him kill someone.
Whispering to the
Damn.
axe.
It's dark.
We're in Tucson.
Very true. Tucson has taken a very dark turn in the last few years, and
It has. Ain't gonna lie, it has.
Stay creepy, Tucson.
God, I can't even stay creepy Tucson. Like Ryan's encouraging it.
All I'm saying, man, is if you want a real good horror story, go downtown at like 2:00 in the morning and walk down an alley.
oh my god,
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll never be the same.
Yeah.
You know, when
That's where I prey on people.
Alan looks proud of himself.
if you see Alan,
I'm worried about Alan now.
Me too. Praying
Go
on
the other
people.
way.
I mean,
I could see him praying on.
wish
Oh,
you guys had someone praying for you.
So, okay, when I was little, I remember being on 4th Avenue, and there was this huge thing that they found.
Oh, bullshit.
They found hands. They found hands in a trash can. They were like severed hands.
What?
And as a little girl, I was actually afraid of dumpsters. Like, I know this sounds ridiculous, but every time I saw big dumpsters, I was like, there's cut off hands in there. What if there's body parts in there? And I remember it was a big thing. I think I was like 7.
So what's with it? Did you say that there were hands in this? Or
Yeah, there were severed hands found in the trash can on 4th Avenue.
What?
Yeah, and I went to this coffee shop. It was probably like Chocolate Iguana or something like that. And I went there with my mom and one of her friends, and everyone was talking about it. And we're walking back to the car, and he's like, "Yeah, they found her hands somewhere down there." And
What?
he pointed at this big dumpster.
Have you seen my saw or my hands?
I am still like, ugh, when I had to take out trash at the clinic. Getting close
man.
to that dumpster, I'm like, there's going to be a body in here.
For
I had
sure.
a coworker once that was a trash man, and he was a trash man for like 3 years, and they dumped a girl, like a 12-year-old girl, into a trash can. And when he picked it up and he dumped it into like the compactor, the girl fell out.
Man.
And he had to quit after that and go to like therapy for like a while.
oh my God.
And then I heard on the East Coast, you know how it gets so cold, the homeless jump into the trash cans, and sometimes when they fall asleep, they get picked up, and with the number of trash going on them, they suffocate, and then they're like shredded once they're
think-
Well, the
out of it.
I
compactor.
Yeah.
think
they're-
that was like Rudy Giuliani's like whole plan in New York City.
Yeah, so statistically speaking, for the listeners, most trash people are murderers.
It's true. It's true. Like I would say 90%. I don't have proof, but I believe this.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
just try to get one to smile. It won't work.
Summer Slaughterfest has gone really sour.
Oh, we're gonna say some really not okay things, but I'm gonna be okay with it.
Episode 1 is going to be about our garbage man Ted and how we suspect.
He's got bodies in his trash can for sure.
Oh yeah,
I think
Finally,
your voice
someone likes my work.
I know that made me feel a little proud of myself. Want to do stand up, Alan?
Yeah, I'll do sit down.
All right, guys. Well, this has been a fun episode. You're missing the Fear of the Southwest podcast. This has been fun. This is Drew.
I'm Stephanie.
Alan.
I'm Ryan.
Stay creepy, guys. Laters.
I'll miss you so much. Bye.